Functions. Along with objects, functions are the core component in understanding JavaScript. The most basic function declaration looks like this. So we have a function add with two parameters, x and y in this case. Inside of this parentheses, outside we have the curly braces, we have the cons declaration, and it's going to be total is assigned to x plus y. We end up with a semicolon, and then we return the cons declaration, so the total here. We can copy this one and we can go to our DevTools, Control Shift I, and then we paste it. And right now nothing is gonna happen because we're not adding any values, like for example 1, 2, 3, 4. That would make the sums. If we put 1, 2, it's gonna be the sum 3. But first of all, a JavaScript function can take 0 or more parameters. So these are the parameters. In this case we only have 2 parameters, not 3, not 4. In this example we have only 2 parameters. The function body can contain as many statements as you like and can declare its own variables which are local to that function. The return statement can be used to return a value at any time. This is the return statement here. Terminating the function if no return statement is used, or an empty return with no value, JavaScript returns undefined. Functions can be called with more or fewer parameters than it specifies. If you call a function without passing the parameters it expects, they will be set to undefined. If you pass more parameters than it expects, the function will ignore the extra parameters. So here we have an example. We're gonna grab this one. Okay, here's our function add the parameters x and y. So we paste and we paste. We are adding 0 parameters. There are no parameters here, so this is the result, none. So equivalent to add undefined plus undefined. Now we have another example here. Now we're adding some numbers. So here we're adding 2 parameters, the parameter 2 and 3. The sum is gonna be 5. So you can see the number 4 here. That would be a third parameter, but we didn't declare here. We only declare 2 parameters, x and y. So it doesn't matter if you have, for example, it doesn't matter if you have another number here, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's always gonna take the 2 first parameters, 5. Everything after the second parameter is gonna be ignored. Let me see, it's this one. Added the first 2, 4 was ignored, as you can see. There are a number of other parameter syntaxes available. For example, the rest parameter syntax allows collecting all the extra parameters passed by the caller into an array, similar to Python's args. Since JavaScript doesn't have named parameters on the language level, there is no KW args. So here we have another example. We can just clean it up with Ctrl L or pressing this circle button. So here we have a function avg. Inside this parentheses we have the ellipses and we have the variable args. Outside we have the curly braces. We have the let declaration sum and it's initialized to 0. We end up with a semicolon. After that we have the for loop. Inside the parentheses we have the cons iron of args of the argument here. Outside of that we have another curly braces. We have the sum, and then we have this assignment operator, the sum, and the equal operator, iron. So what this means pretty much is it's like saying sum is assigned the sum plus the item. So we close the curly braces and we return the sum divided by the arguments or the args that length. So in this function right here, we have 4 parameters. We have the 2, 3, 4, 5. So the sum is gonna be 14. This is gonna be the sum, but we need to divide it, and we need to divide it by the args that length, and the args that length is gonna be 4. So in this case it's gonna be a division of 14 divided by 4. So if we press enter, it's gonna be 3.5, and there you have it. That is that example there. Okay, yeah. In the above code, the variable args holds all the values that were passed into the function. The rest parameter will store all arguments after where it's declared, but not before. For example, the function avg, first value, then we have the comma, then we have the ellipses args, will store the first value passed into the function and the first value variable and the remaining arguments and args. If a function accepts a list of arguments and you already hold an array, you can use the spread syntax in the function call to spread the array as a list of elements. For instance, we have avg, open parentheses, ellipses, numbers, close parentheses. We mentioned that JavaScript doesn't have name parameters. It's possible though to implement it using object destructuring, which allows objects to be conveniently packed and unpacked. So here we have another example. So we have a function, the area, and the parentheses. We have curly braces, width, comma, height. Outside we have another curly braces, and we're gonna return the width multiplied by the height. So in the next example, we have the curly braces here create a new object. So we have the console.log area, and this time the width has a value and the value is 2, and the height too has a value and it's gonna be 3. So the return is gonna give us the multiplication, in this case 6. And we can go to the dev tools, clean it up, paste it, press enter, and there you have it. The result is 6. If you, for example, you want to change it, you want to put the width would be 20 and the height would be 35. I mean, you press enter, and there you have it. There will be the result. There is also the default parameter syntax, which allows omitted parameters or those passed as undefined to have a default value. Here we have this example. Function avg, in parentheses we have the first value, we have the second value, and now we have the third value assigned to 0. So the third value is going to be assigned to 0. Close the parentheses, open curly braces. We are going to return the first value plus the second value plus the third value, and as you can see, the third value is going to be assigned again here 0. Okay, so that return is going to be divided by 3. So if we pass, for example, in this case 1 and 2, 1 and 2 is going to be 3 divided by 3 is going to be 1. So that is the answer that we're going to get instead of num. It doesn't matter the third value, because the third value is assigned 0 anyway. So for example, if we grab this example, let's go here, we paste it here and we press enter, and yeah, it's the same thing. So if you want to change the values, maybe put 10 and then the second one is 2, we press enter, and then you have 4 because you have 10 plus 2, that will be 12 divided by 3. So you have 12 divided by 3, that will be 4.